Let's try a new way of preserving cherry tomatoes, one that doesn't require any canning, no canning, well, just jarring up, but no processing, and that should be very simple and easy. We're making tomato confit. There you go, stick with me. No special music coming or anything. We're just gonna roll into it. I kind of feel like I should have had French music coming. Anyways, this recipe is adapted from Shay Elliott from Elliott Homestead's recipe. You can download it and you can also look it on her YouTube channel. She's done it both ways. If you want to Google search something, you're going to Google search preserved tomatoes in olive oil. I'm doing cherry tomatoes, which several people have adapted from her recipe. And we're going to do two ways. I went out and I harvested the basil and I harvested my rosemary. I've got really cute jars that I'm working with, and let's get going. First, I'm going to wash and separate all of the stems from my cherry tomatoes and make sure all of my cherry tomatoes are not rotten. None of my cherry tomatoes are rotted, right? You want to make sure your cherry tomatoes are in good condition. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees and get out your Pyrex dishes. And then wash all of your cherry tomatoes with a book on tape. There you go. I have 2 trays of cherry tomatoes. I am now going to drizzle them with olive oil. You can be generous. Don't worry. Then we're going to get salt. I am using sea salt, just a little. And then we're going to stick them in a 400-degree oven for about 40 minutes. We're actually canning the whole tomatoes that I got. I got pressure canning, and I'll have water bath canning here in a minute. And we've got oven roasted tomatoes in the oven right now, but we have these that just came out of the bottom oven. Now, I'm going to do something slightly different from her recipe. It's basically going to be the same thing, but I'm going to change the order in the way it's done. So I'm going to take some garlic and I'm going to mix it in both of them. Oh, so much better. I'm using the electric pressure canner from Presto, and it's working really good. I am just going to gently mix the garlic in. And then we're going to put them in the jars. Now we're going to ladle this all in these jars. I probably should have gotten a smaller jar. We may just end up doing 1 jar. Either way, what we want to do is get these tomatoes in and every so often stop and put in some basil. This one, I really want basil. I don't know why. I love basil. There. And then we're just going to keep ladling the cherry tomatoes in. This is going to be what it looks like. All of this is going to be used, but we're going to top it off with olive oil. So there'll be nothing floating on the top, and we're going to have olive oil on the top. That will preserve it, but I need to get the air bubbles out, but we're going to do the next one. So with the next one, I'm going to use the rosemary. And I'm actually going to use a smaller jar. These were given to me by that sweet lady that was moving and then ended up not moving. So now she's my sweet friend. I love how that works out, right? So we're going to ladle some of the cherry tomatoes down. This just looks amazing. Here's the one thing that you need to do. You need to make sure you get all the air bubbles out. This is where I see people using a knife to go down. Don't use a knife. Don't use a knife. A knife will literally scratch the side of the glass. Just use there. Now we're going to wipe the rims. We're going to fill it with olive oil so that nothing is above. By doing this method, we should be preserving these through the whole winter. However, you want to make sure that the olive oil is always covering all of the tomatoes and the basil and all of the products, because anything that's above will start to mold and mildew. And we don't want that. That would not be good. Plus, whenever we go in to grab something from in here, we want to use a clean utensil. Nothing that has been in like butter or meat or anything like that. Anything that comes in this jar has to be clean. In my world, in my kitchen. There you go. Did anybody else hear about the theft of olive oil from Italy? Like a massive amount of olive oil was stolen. I mean, like so much, like you're just sitting there going, how did they even get that out? Like, how is that? If anybody knows anything about that, comment. That would be really interesting to hear how it even came to being. Anyways, we are cleaning the outside. We're not going to be water bathing or pressure canning. This is the easiest thing in the world. But we are topping them off. Now, anytime we grab anything from here, we're going to make sure it's all submerged, kind of smush it around, and make sure that nothing is floating on top. And I'm going to have a problem with this guy right here. There. I had the rosemary sprigs like to pop up out of the olive oil and go, hello, I'm here. And you go, no, 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 go to sleep. Okay, there you go. We are going to stick these in the refrigerator. I probably should label them. I will label them. Labeled. Yay! I am so excited about this. I'm even more excited to try it. There you go. You can see the olive oil. Do I have a floater? No, he's below the surface, but he does look like sometimes he's floating. There you go. Put him in the fridge. Now, what would I use tomato confit for? What would I use it for? I would actually slather it on some toast, put it in some sandwiches, put a whole bunch of it in some pasta. Oh my gosh, make a pasta sauce with it. Put it on baguette. Put it on French bread. Put it over pork, roast, whatever. You could literally put it in salads. It's going to be cold. You could heat it up. You could do whatever with it. It's literally going to infuse the one with the basil, the one with the rosemary and the garlic all together, and it'll keep in there until I'm ready for it. So I'm going to get back to doing tomatoes. It's tomato day today. You guys have a great day out there, and now you know what I know. I've never done this recipe before, so we'll have to see all year long how we like it and if we're going to do it next year. It is actually quite simple. So there you go. And it's not very expensive. The only thing I'm really out is a little bit of the garlic, and I usually grow my own, so I wouldn't have even been out of that. And the olive oil. My olive trees are not producing yet, so yes, that did cost me some money. Talk to you guys later.